Howdy folks, Timber Drifter here. About hiking and fishing. So I was out here yesterday also. This is a walk-in lake. There's a parking space and one campsite near the lake. But there's no roads right around it. And there's no motorized traffic allowed on the lake, just canoes and kayaks. Let's see if I can get them. I'm watching 4 loons. The sun's probably going to be in the way. Right there. One of them is diving right now. So, peaceful day. Despite everything going on in the world, my day is peaceful. And thanks for that. There they are again. Usually don't see 4 loons together. It's usually just 2. Yeah, so a small lake. I'm about halfway around the lake from the parking area. There's no real trail. There's kind of a game trail or deer trail. When I was in here yesterday, holding my fishing pole and the selfie stick in the same hand, it started slipping. So when I was in here yesterday on my hike in, there were some kind of fresh tracks on this little deer trail that were not deer tracks. There were the pine needles were disturbed in such a way that I knew that they weren't deer tracks. And I came to a spot where there were some fairly large rocks turned over, and then a hemlock stump, and also a popple stump had been rotten, had been torn apart. And the sand in the edges of the scrapes wasn't even dried out yet, so it was pretty fresh black bear tracks. It was very windy yesterday and sunny. Even with the filtered sunlight in the woods, the sand tends to dry out within an hour. And it wasn't even close to dried out yet, so I was pretty close on that bear. And then while I was fishing here yesterday, I kept having that feeling when you know that somebody's looking at you or something's looking at you, and I would turn around and look around behind me and listen for a little bit, but I never saw anything. So I think I was just spooked. Or the bear was hiding really well. Or whatever it was that was looking at me, I don't know. Probably nothing. Maybe a red squirrel. Probably not. Smoking my old Yellow Bowl Aristocrat with some Grassmere Flake. Same thing I was smoking out here yesterday. It seems to be a very fitting tobacco for the woods. So this lake has a limit, a length limit on small and largemouth bass of 18 inches or larger. That's a pretty good sized bass. One just hit the water right down there, right offshore. Yesterday I caught 5 largemouth bass between 10 and 15 inches in length. So I didn't keep any of them. And today I caught 7 largemouth bass between 10 and 15 inches in length. And 2 yellow perch, not quite big enough to keep. Today I brought some different lures out with me, hoping to catch something bigger. But I didn't, but I did enough catching and enough fishing today. It's after 7:30 p.m. And I've been here since I think about 2 o'clock. About the same amount of time yesterday. I haven't been fishing for probably 45 minutes. I've been laying against this fire ring that somebody built, staring out at the lake, laying in the sunlight where the sunlight and the breeze where the mosquitoes aren't killing me. I tried several different lures, and the bass were hitting on whatever I was throwing out there, just not very often. They weren't very big. So all in all, a pretty satisfying day, but I'm not taking home anything to eat. I have food at home anyway. Just like in the winter when I'm surprised by how far south the sun sets on the horizon. It's at almost a 45-degree angle, or it never gets higher than that. I am surprised in the summertime at how far north the sun sets. I forget these things in the 2 seasons between winter and summer. So in a way, because of my poor memory, I'm always in a state of wonderment. So this lake is not very large, at least compared to the ones nearby it. And it's pretty private. I think there's somebody else out here today, because several times I've heard a paddle against the gunnel of an aluminum canoe, probably in the last hour. But I haven't seen them out here yet. I'll try to show you a spot where a turtle laid some eggs and they actually hatched. I don't think anything got to them. You can maybe see some little bits of kind of off-white or egg-colored things that look sort of like curls of birch bark, and those are turtle eggs that have been hatched, and the rain has kind of washed them down. And I don't see much evidence of anything digging that up other than a turtle. Pretty neat. I found several places where turtle eggs have been dug up. and eaten by foxes and coyotes. Here we go. Now I see the person. Maybe not. That's a kayak. There are a lot of people up. I mean, it is tourist season. But I think because of the plague, there's a lot more people here than normal. I've never been to this spot before, even though it's not that far from where I live. But the amount of people up here using my campsites and fishing holes and swimming holes have forced me to go further afield, which is a good thing. I'm not in the habit of cruising in a vehicle much. Usually don't go much further than I can ride my bike or walk. But since I'm not working much lately, because there isn't much work for me, I have quite a bit of time to cruise the back roads around here and complete all the maps in my mind. Run down all the roads that I've only been part way down or never down at all. See where they go. Find new fishing holes, new areas to hike in. So, even though I don't like to see so many people here, it makes me nervous to go into the grocery store or the laundromat or the gas station with so many people around. It is what it is. People are up having fun and escaping their daily life, entering mine. Several spots I was fishing here today. Hope the wind doesn't make too much noise on the camera. This is kind of a little point, fairly small point sticking out into this part of the lake. Had pretty successful fishing here. See, somebody left a Hamm's beer can. Take that with me. So yeah, a lot of people up. A lot of people that have second or third homes here have been here for months. I'm finding this out. Having done a little bit of arborist work at a few places with a friend of mine, and talking to the owner of the bookstore in the town that I live in, she's told me that there's a lot of people that are here staying in their second homes that have been here for months. They don't go out. Although I would expect they're going out now. Everyone seems to be. Strangely, I've met a handful of people from New York State that have second homes here, or family cabins that they've owned for generations. I can't recall ever meeting anyone here before that was from New York. And also Bethesda, Maryland. Over the years I've met several people that have second homes here that are from Bethesda, Maryland, but recently I've met 4. I knew this was Chicago's Playland vacation area, but I didn't realize that this area was used by people from so many places. Not just Maryland and New York. I've met a number of people from other places that are either staying here or have second homes here. Well, I am on my way out. And I'm going to pause the camera for a minute because I have to either walk through the bog or go through those balsam firs. So, with my fishing pole, probably going to get snagged up going through there. So, be right back. Okay. Not exactly close to my car. And I came in by a different trail than I did yesterday. Actually, I came in by no trail at all. Just keeping an eye on the void past the trees where the lake obviously was, so I didn't lose my bearings. So not much going on. This is pretty much what I've been doing. I've not had my canoe in the lake yet, or any lakes, not in the water I should say, because I've been refinishing my paddles. But they'll be done tomorrow. So maybe I'll put my canoe in somewhere. Perhaps the Pine River. I like rivers more than lakes. Or at least I'm drawn to them more. I like moving water. And for the first canoe trip of the year, I think a river is suitable. I had a lot of things I wanted to talk about, but I'm so mellowed out after spending all this time in the woods by the water catching fish that my mind is kind of empty. So we'll leave the social commentary and all of that for another day. Maybe everyone could use a break and get outside, like I always say, right? Now I'm going to get into the deep woods where the mosquitoes are going to start getting rough. Yeah, I've been pretty stirred up by everything that's going on. I don't quite know what to do with all of it, what to think about it, how to think about it. A while back I had a conversation with Steven, whose YouTube channel is I'm a Wrench. I'm a Wrench. I guess that many of you are familiar with him. We talked for quite a long time, and I think I had probably too many beers by the end of that conversation, and I imagine I was just babbling, but that happens sometimes. However, he's a wiser man than I. I found that conversation quite helpful, so that I could understand how I could just stop reacting to things and just listen, which is important. Oh yeah, here we have quite a tangle to work through. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been working on lately, is just not reacting. listening, hearing what people have to say. I'll pause the camera again. This is going to be loud. There we go. So yeah, I guess the wrap up the point I was trying to make is that with all the protests and things like that, and people saying a lot of different things, some of which make no sense to me, and some of those things have quite an accusatory tone, and I feel like I'm being personally attacked, even though the person isn't speaking directly to me. I don't need to react to it. I just need to listen to it and decide whether there's something that I can take from it, or whether I consider it valid to me, and go from there. So I didn't think about any of that stuff today or yesterday. Because when I'm hiking in the woods, I'm mostly just hiking in the woods. I'm not really thinking about anything. And when I'm fishing, I'm just fishing. I'm not having other thoughts. I'm just fishing. Just being where I'm at. Doing what I'm doing. So, I think I'll leave it at that. As you can see, the mosquitoes are becoming insistent. And I've talked enough. And you've seen enough scenery. Maybe not. And I've got a hell of a tangle of woods to go through. So, y'all take care. Don't get too caught up if you can keep from it. But listen too, you know. There's important things going on. Important things being said. But all this is still going on too. Whether we're here or not. It doesn't need us. And we're not more important than all of this. So that's my perspective on it. For now. So, yeah, y'all take care. Get outside if you can.